day, everyone. I am Hazel Lamakang from BS Ed English 1A, and for today's video, we're going to talk about appreciating contemporary arts in the regions in these times of pandemic. In these times of pandemic, it has become increasingly apparent to us that we are physically isolated from one another, and as a result, we are concerned about what the future holds for us. Therefore, we need ways to reduce our fears, and one way to do this is to create an art. Creating art can help you express your feelings, um, helps to express yourself and share your ideas and emotions with others. Studying art also teaches you to discern and understand the individual differences that set us apart. Studying and creating art helps us to see that there are many ways to deal with unsolved challenges. A good example of this is when your teacher asks you to draw something, maybe a house or other things. We would realize that each would have made different designs from the others. While there would be similarities, the end product would be significantly different and unique. And by doing so, it helped us to see that there is more than one right solution to a problem. Do you see who is in the picture? Yeah, you're right. He is Aristotle. He was a student of Plato and considered as one of the famous philosophers. In his poetics, he claimed that humans have instincts for imitation and harmony. He described that these instincts are lying deep in our consciousness. He argued that human beings are the most imitative of living creatures, and through imitations, humans learn and experience pleasure. Now, we can define art as a human pursuit to imitate life and the world into something pleasing and beautiful. Here are the concepts and definitions that you need to remember. The second concept that we need to know is a contemporary art. But before that, we need to distinguish the difference between the words modern and contemporary. Modern is a period between 1860s and the late 1960s, while contemporary is a period from 1970s up to the present day. So, according to John Paul Getty Museum, contemporary art is an art made and produced by artists living today. It is the art of produced by artists who are living in the 21st century. It provides an opportunity to reflect on contemporary society and the issues relevant to ourselves and the world around us. The third and the last concept is the modern art. Based on how we distinguish the modern and contemporary, modern is a period set chronologically speaking after the neoclassical, pioneered by Victorio Idades 1928, influenced by Western modern art. Therefore, modern art are artworks created after the neoclassical period. Do you know that we have 8 different art forms? Yes, you heard it right. There are 8 art forms, and here they are. The first art form is the sculpture. So let's define the sculpture is. Sculpture, this is a three-dimensional artwork that may be created using stone, marble, wood, and concrete. So I have here the example of sculpture. This is the famous oblation, which is located at the entrance of UP Diliman, and it was created by our national artist for sculpture which is Guillermo Tolentino, and the model for this statue was his former apprentice and student, namely Anastasio Guaido. The second art form is architecture. Architecture, these are structures that meant primarily to be used as a shelter. The art of architecture relies on the design and purpose of the structure. One of the best examples can be seen on the screen. It is the Philippine International Convention Center, or the PICC. The design was created by our national artist for architecture, which is Leandro V. Locsin. And the PICC was the Asia's first international convention center. The third art form is music, and we are all known about music. Music, this is the art or form that appeals using our auditory senses, our sense of hearing, and music is composed of by combining notes, creating melody and harmony. The fourth art form is the literature. Literature, this is the art of language through combining words, creating meaning and experience to the readers. And when you love to write short stories, novels, and poems, and when can you make the words came into life, maybe you're into a literature. And the example of this is the poem by national artist Chanel Jose. And it is a story of a Ilocano family abandoned their beloved barrio in order to flee from the cruelty of the Spaniards and for their survival in southern Pangasinan in the Philippines. The story happened from 1880 to 1889. The fifth art form is the theater. Theater, this is the art form that utilizes body, movements, and expressions. Dramatic texts are portrayed on the stage by actors and actresses and enhanced by props, lights, and sound. Please see the poster on theater on the screen. This is the Lagong Bukid performed by Atang Dila Rama, one of our national artists for theater. The sixth art form is the cinema. Cinema, this is a technological translation of theater. In films, special effects are utilized to enhance the storytelling. The best performer of the cinema is Miss Nora Honor, and she has a lot of drama that has been known. The seventh art form is the dance. The dance, this is the art of human form. The body is used, mobilized, and choreographed in specific time, form, and space. The best example of this is the tinikling. The tinikling is said to be named after the long leg called tikling in the Philippines. It imitates the movements of the bird as it walks over the grass or dodges bamboo traps set by Filipino farmers on the rice fields. The last art form is the picture. The example of this is the drawing, painting, printmaking, and photography. Is a two-dimensional image ranging from real-life images to the visuality abstract. It may be created using different media such as chalk, charcoal, graphite, ink, oil, and watercolor. The example of this is on the screen. It is the Planting Rice by our national artist for visual arts, Fernando Amorsolo. Here in the picture, you can see the painting of Fernando Amorsolo, the grand old man of painting in the Philippines. It is called the Planting Rice. This painting was created by Fernando Amorsolo in 1951. The medium used was in oil canvas measuring 24.25 inches by 34 inches. We can call this the eighth art form. The influences that have become part of our identity in art come from the Spanish, Americans, and other Asian countries. It manifests in our Spanish inspired architecture, American influenced poetry, comics, music, and so on. All over the world, Filipinos have adapted to foreign cultures and due to globalization, which has also shaped Filipino art. That's one of the lessons that I have learned in arts appreciation.